So this is like a day 7 for Agile and Scrum. Okay. So welcome to Console Log. So today's topic we will going to cover from PRT. Okay, what is GTD? Like getting things done. This is one we will going to cover. Second, we will going to cover like the KANO priority model. Okay, based on user. And third, we will going to cover that's a surprise. Okay, that's a surprise. So let's see, let's carry on. So just watch till the end. These three topic is bit confusing. Everybody have their own answer, but let's see what is the actual thing. Okay. So getting things done means how you will going to manage so many lots of stuffs. Okay. On if those are coming in your plate, and obviously it will come because you are a Scrum master, correct? So that point of time, just think like these many things like project commitments, communication, report, meeting, review, everything is your stuffs, correct? Now, whenever it will come to your inbox, okay, then you have to take a decision, right? What is it? What actually came in your plate, basically. So then you have to judge, is it actionable or not? If yes, like a project, obviously it's an actionable multi-step, then you have to start planning on that, correct? Like this, start planning on that. Now, again, review for actions. You need some reviews. After that, what's the next action? So what happened? First is come to your inbox. Then you are creating some multi-step. Then you are doing the review action. Then you are thinking about what's the next action, correct? Then you have to delegate something that will go to your waiting for list, correct? Like a waiting list, there's a dependency. You assign someone, you delegate it to someone, and something like a very small that you can take care. So that is like a less than 2 minutes. So do it right now. Okay. And after delegation, what are those things are there in your plate? Like next action, your date book or PDA, like your calendar, correct? Like as soon as possible, what are those things you need to do? Now, if that's not an actionable part, then what will happen? Trash it. If that's a not actionable, non-productive things, trash it. Okay, or incubate that. Means someday maybe you will get to do. Okay, so this is the reference based on like getting things done by David Allen from his book. This diagram I actually took. So this is very nicely created, a quick reference cut. So this is the sheet you can create, or I can share, like whoever is going to write interested. Okay, already I posted on LinkedIn, my Facebook groups and all. So this is the thing, like inbox. Here you can write what are those things are coming in your plate. Someday maybe you can do that, not right now. That's not a like a high priority thing you have to do right now. So that's okay. Project. So you can write like title and next section. So how these things are like title and next section is coming. You can go back to over here. See, projects, from project is coming like review for actions. What's the next section? Correct? Because a whole like full project you can't develop alone, correct? You need a team, you need to delegate. Something is in your plate that you can do. So that's why title and next section. Waiting, once you delegated, what are those things in waited plate, correct, that you can manage. Next action, what will be your next action that you can write over here. And very last, that is review flow. What is the review flow? You collect, input everything that need to be processing that we discussed. Then you are processing like that project. Clear your mind. Try to remember everything not collected yet. Correct? But here I will suggest, do not keep so many things in your mind. Being a Scrum Master, when you are trying to solve multiple things together, all the impedance, what is impedance? We already discussed. Check my like latest videos in this playlist. Okay, so when you are clearing that, you need to write somewhere. Okay, that's a good practice and best practice. Review your action list, mark the done items and schedule the important ones. Review last calendar, reschedule task not done. Review next calendar, allocated time with each week task, review your waiting list, review your progress or sorry, projects, review maybe someday list, and be creative and courageous. Think about new projects, create new stuff, correct? Because when you are accomplishing your responsibility day to day, you are not learning something. You are, gathering the experience what previously you learned. But what about the new thing? So each and every day, give yourself 1% time to learn something. Okay. So this is the whole flow which called getting things done. No matter how much, puzzled or like very non-productive environment you have in your organization or anywhere, so much disturbance are there. If you are following this action step by step in a very organized way somewhere, like this Excel sheet only you can use, then you can easily manage in that unstructured environment your structured work. Okay, so this is very important. Being a Scrum Master, how we're going to manage this. If you have any question, please give the comments. Okay, let's start the KANO model. We last day, like our day 6, we already discussed about Moscow method. Okay, MOSCOW, Moscow must have, could have like this way. How we can set the priority from our backlog, correct? So over here, we will going to learn the KANO model. This is another very interesting and important topic. So what is that? How will it going to work? Let's see. So desired based prioritization KANO model. Okay. These have 3 components or 3 categories, mainly mandatory, linear, excited. Mandatory means basic stuff, means which you can't deny. Okay. If you are not giving that, your user, your customer is going to hate you. So you have to give that. So that is mandatory. So what is that mandatory line? That mandatory line is this one. Correct? Like suppose, just think over here, fulfilled condition, customer completely satisfied. So over here, in this region, you can say this is called mandatory region because you are fulfilling their condition and your customer is satisfied. What is linear? Like no matter how many things are given, okay, it's like a linear line. You will give, customer will satisfy. So that's okay. You are giving, the more the better, the more the linear feature, the more customer will pay. Simple things that we all know. So this green line is basically the linear one and the excited one. What is the excited? Excited means something. Just think like when Apple launched their mobile user interface, people are excited like anything. Correct? So that excitement line is this green one. Delightful, correct? Or excitement thing. What's the point? Now, just think what will happen. You given some excitement thing in your one sprint or one launch, correct? When you are giving or delivering that project or product. Now, you thought you given something. Now you stop giving from your next sprint, like this way only, mandatory, linear, excitement. So some mandatory things are there, some linear is there. There is no excitement thing, there is no delightful things. Then what will happen? So this green color graph will become the red one. Means customer will start rejecting because your competitor is start giving the same feature. Okay, so whenever we are planning or prioritize from our backlog, or you can say product backlog or product requirement is there, from there you are creating the backlog, always maintain mandatory, linear, excited, combine that, then create. Clear? So let's see how it's work. KANO model, how to classify. So there are 2 sort of classifiers there. One is functional form, another one is dysfunctional form. So when you are doing some user research, if you ask if the user can perform real-time bits, how do you feel? So your option is like, I would like, it is what I expect, natural, I can live with that, I dislike. So like this way, you can create a form correct? And you can ask, we will check the example. Okay, let's move. Model, can a model, how to classify again? So functional question you actually ask, and this functional question also you ask. So based on that, you are giving some level. Means M means mandatory, L means linear, D means exciter, Q means questionable, R means reverse, I for I think indifferent. Okay. So just remember, we will check. Now just think how that product backlog item, as I already promised, that this is like an example. You already played, planning poker, correct? You already created your Moscow again. So if you don't know how to do like planning poker, just check my previous video. So this is your product backlog item. You given the estimate, correct? Now, based on this estimate, what is happening? You actually went for previously only like those, user research. So user already said like what are those things are mandatory, non-mandatory, linear, exciter. So like this way, you can set your priority. Like what are those things you need to launch first? Correct? This is very easy. So let's see how it's look like actually. This is a sample set, okay? So this is something you can do like something like this way. Just think like some description, then you are asking for dysfunctional, then you are asking for functional, then you are asking like this is important or not, something like this way, correct? Now, based on that, you are creating a category. Based on that, you are creating a category. I will share this sheet. Every condition is created over here. So based on that, you can also calculate the importance relativity also, correct? So this is much more discrete advanced analysis based on the standard deviation and all. If you are not doing like this way, it's still okay. Just try to figure it out. One thing, what are those features is mandatory, what are those features is linear, and what are those features are exciting. But this is much more structured way. You can do your continuous analysis, discrete analysis, and based on that, you can easily calculate the standard deviation, and you will understand what are those features actually required from your chart. See, like this way. No matter, it's okay. It's perfectly okay. Like if you are not giving this. So whatever the things we shared, like that way only you can give the point as well. Correct? And this is the actual result set what we got from using Google form, correct? Like suppose you given to some users like a 20 user, like different department, you ask this some questions. Based on that, you given those option. Now what are those options you will going to get? You will give like this sort of option. I like it, I expect it natural like this way. So based on that, people will going to like vote over here, and based on that you can easily calculate like what are those features is actually important, correct, or mandatory or linear or exciter. So this thing is called KANO model. Okay, previously we just checked how GTD is working, correct? Okay, let's move to last one. Now the last topic, that is DOD, means definition of done. What is definition of done? Like whenever you are planning for any sprint, you have to write somewhere what is the meaning of definition of done. Okay, what is definition of done? So suppose you have few tasks, you already created some story like those user story. This is your sprint and release, correct? So before you are going to say yes, this is done, because we already saw in our previous videos like how Kanban board is going to work, correct? So based on that only, you can easily create these levels. You are giving some dimension, like task means this criteria is basically like a configuration management, correct? Code committed to feature branch, correct? Quality management is code reviewed by peer. Target, follow checklist. So you have to have some checklist when your peer is doing some code review. Quality management again, static analysis, warning fixed, at most 10 open warning. This is your target. excuse me. Then story, configuration management, build pass locally and on server, quality management, test case written, unit test passing, at least 80% code coverage, functional test passing, acceptance criteria, deploy to staging area, process management, user manual updated, develop manual updated, release note created, quality management, no critical or major defects, that is fit to be like 0. Quality management, again, low minor defects at most 10. So if this all sort of this criteria is done from your end, it's this is not something like a fixed. Maybe you are not using any test cases in your organization. That's perfectly okay. Maybe you are not doing unit testing. That's perfectly okay. Like whatever the process and criteria you have, somewhere you need to write those so that your team, your Scrum Master, everyone should know, your product owner should know, like, yes, those things are checked and tested. Those things are already done. So that's why they are saying done. So this is called actual definition of done. I hope you like this video. If you like, please subscribe our channel. Along with that, please come and join in Facebook. Just search console log. Check comment. I will share the link. Okay, so join over there. So we are giving like a full place practical course over here. See you. Goodbye. Take care.